Welcome to our course on fundamentals of game design and gameplay. We are discussing gameplay in terms of game design. You can watch our 6 or 7 videos on gameplay before this to understand this. Anyway, actions, it's an important part of the gameplay, and you also should design as a designer your actions that the players will be able to perform in the game to overcome those challenges. You also should mention your actions in your game design document. But when you are designing actions for the gameplay, maybe you can try to give limited number of actions. Why? Because it will reduce the user interface, to make the user interface size smaller and to reduce large number of animations. You also have to define your actions. I think there are some steps for defining your actions. I think we will see after a while. And you also should define actions that serve other functions. I think in the beginning of the gameplay lectures, we told that in addition to the actions that the player will perform to overcome the challenges, you also need to provide some other actions that the player will want to do. I think in our user interface design, we discussed that I think all players want to do something, whether they are relevant to the gameplay or not. Move around, look, explore the game world, this type of stuff. So still they are not relevant to your game, you should provide those options. So actions that are not related to your gameplay but can be related to serve other functions. Some examples can be unstructured play, actions for creation and self-expression, action for socialization, actions to participate in the story, actions to control the game software. Now, defining your action. When you're designing the game, you have to define the actions that you want to implement in your game. So you can start with by thinking what the player will do in the game, what he is supposed to do, what is his target. Maybe for example, he is supposed to drive a car. Then what are the finer actions related to driving a car? Maybe pressing accelerator, shifting gears, all those things. And when you can find out the finer actions, you have to implement those actions in your game design document. Okay, you can list all the actions available and what are those, how they can be performed, or maybe you can also thinking about the input device or device button assignment, or how they will map into the game world or the corresponding action in the game world. You can also define those things. So from there you can also think about the challenges in your game, in addition to thinking in terms of what the player will do and finding out the actions. Maybe then you can also think about the challenges he will face in the game world. You can think about first the atomic challenges the player will face, and then you have to define actions to overcome those challenges for each atomic challenge. Or maybe if you think that the player will need to take multiple actions to overcome this atomic challenge, you can also find out that. Then you have to think about the higher level challenges, like intermediate level challenges and highest level challenges. Then you have to think whether the atomic actions you have defined with those skills players will be able to overcome the intermediate and higher level challenges or not. If yes, you're fine. If not, then maybe you have to think about more actions, or maybe giving some combination of those atomic actions to get better actions and to overcome those challenges. Many times still those atomic actions can be sufficient to overcome the challenges in the intermediate and higher level challenges, but in intermediate and higher level challenges, as the challenges will be more challenging, you can also provide some additional actions that the player can use to defeat or to win the game. And after that you can consider actions unrelated to your games. Unstructured play. You can include some fun to perform actions that don't address any challenge. I think players usually find this thing fun, maybe doing some unrelated stuff, just exploring the world, game world, doing some random stuff, just like move around, horn beep for car racing. Yeah, if it's a car racing game, but if you don't provide the horn beep, the game world does not become real. Though horn beep does not overcome any challenge, maybe you can make it as action. Maybe when you will be beep horn, maybe someone will give you free the way for you to go. Maybe, yeah, just you have to think in terms of your game world, what are the things the players will usually want to do, but still those may not be part of the gameplay. Actions for creation and self-expression. Many times the players, especially female players, like to see them and also express themselves in the game, maybe through their avatar, by customizing their avatar or selecting the type of avatar they like. And in construction games, it's about creative play more than gameplay. You have to give the opportunity for creative actions or creative self-expression. In games, you can also provide some socialization factors in your games. I think that will increase to the player's satisfaction with the game. Maybe if it is a multiplayer game, you need to give the player to be able to chat with other players. Maybe your game should include features that will give them the opportunity to get involved with the game community. Yeah, it will add to the fun factor, entertainment factor, or the satisfaction factor with the game. Also, you can provide options for the player to participate in the story, to participate in the game story. Still, the actions may not be part of the game play. Maybe you can use some interactive dialogues. The player will talk to the non-player characters. Through this conversation, the story will proceed, or it may be part of the story, or this can change or cannot change the game story. May not address any challenge, but still you can give actions to control the game software, just like adjust the virtual camera, pause and save the game. It will add some value to the satisfaction factor of the player with the game. Now, saving the game, what does it involve? Saving the game, it involves saving the one instance of the game world and everything, and being able to reload it and start playing the game from that point. It will save a snapshot of the game world and all its particulars. It will also save all the customizations made by the player. So, reasons for saving a game. And there are multiple reasons you can allow the player to save the game. Allow the player to leave the game and return to it later. Most important reason, he may need to go to the washroom for some reason, or he need to receive a phone call. So he should be able to save the game and come back to it later. Letting the player recover from disastrous mistakes. For example, death of the avatar. The player may feel that okay, from this now he is facing a tough challenge, he may lose the avatar, but he does not want to repeat the game from the starting, but he just wants a way so that he can come back to this current point and proceed further if the avatar dies. I think in arcade games usually you get multiple life. In some console action games you also get some multiple lives, but in role-playing game and adventure game you just get one life. So maybe you can give the player the reload option, save and reload the option, so that the player can recover from disastrous mistakes. Encourage the player to explore alternate strategies. Yeah, maybe from a certain point the player can think, okay, I want to try an alternative strategy than the most obvious one, but if I fail, maybe I will come back and use another strategy, but I don't want to go back to the beginning and come to this current point. So this can also